Let's talk about missionaries today. And I know some of you are picturing some dirty things on your minds because you always use missionaries somewhere. Fuck you and fuck it. I mean, fucking naries, the missionaries, the people who brought in education, churches, money, and all this fucked up bullshit we are now experiencing, we're now having, that is causing all these problems. So let me give you all confused thick asses motherfuckers some history. These missionaries wanted to gain access in Africa, and since Africans are strong as fuck and they could beat up their asses like crazy, they had to be smarter than most people. I mean, most Africans. So they just came up with this book out of their asses and named it the Bible and even considered it holy as fuck. Holy. It's holy because it's the word of God. Holy Bible. Oh, fuck it. And they even call it the word of God. Yeah, this is the word of God. Holy book. Oh, some bullshit. So they just had the Bible and Africans had lands. Missionaries came in slowly but slowly. They made friends with us. They acted like they were low, so they wanted shelter for some time. Then Africans offered them some place to stay, and slowly by slowly, because the missionaries were smarter than most of us. Uh, I mean, most of Africans, they stayed there because that land they were given for free. They built there and started their bullshit. So days passed, and missionaries taught Africans how to read the Bible and pray with their eyes closed. And since Africans are mentally incapacitated, they quickly bought in the idea. When Africans opened their fucking eyes, guess what? The missionaries had their land, and Africans were left with this silly ass book called the Bible, and made Africans believe that the book was written by God. A God they can't even fucking prove he exists, but they are commanded and ordered and even manipulated or lied to that they must believe. In simple terms, these motherfuckers from missionaries just came up with the Bible to steal from the Africans and even manipulate them. It's clear as fuck that they wrote this fucking book themselves and came to lie that it was written by people inspired by God. Bullshit. It was written by those thugs to come and rule over us. When I mean us, I just mean Africa. The same thugs made us run away from our ways of education and started programming our minds by introducing this fucked up system education that just go to school, learn. If you're a comedian, if you want to be what, it doesn't matter, just learn the same thing. They program your mind. Then after learning, we'll give you a fucking bullshit piece of paper called a certificate, and that certificate will get you a job. Guess what? Most of the Africans are learned, but stupid as fuck. Nowhere to go. Their minds programmed, they're not even smart, they can't do a thing. But for the few who didn't go to school are the most successful ones. And even you all pieces of shit can attest to that bullshit. Yeah? Most of the people in Africa who didn't go to school are the most successful ones. Young men who used to be taught manly duties from all successful men. Things like fishing, farming, being a good man, how to hunt, how to lead a family, how to be a man in the family, and doing manly duty. All just decided to run quick fast to the bullshit the missionaries introduced to them. They now discredited our ways of education and gave credit to their ways of education. So many men left the informal ways of learning, the learning that will involve using your hands to make something happen, making pots and exchanging, going to the farm, uh, producing cassava, millet, and all. I mean, it was just practical things, not this bullshit the missionaries came with. And the ladies on the other side were taught how to clean up their pussies, how to be best mothers, how to be best women, how to be homekeepers, how to give the coochie to the man. I mean, they were taught how to be wives, and that's why many marriages in the olden days worked a good one, and men married as many wives as they could, and it was a successful family. So all this stopped, and serious pieces of shit started going to schools and learning together. Another mistake. Men and women are not supposed to share space whatsoever, because we learn differently, we perceive things differently, we are just physically fucking different. So that was another mistake. Men and women learning from one person at a go made men become docile, and women started seeing themselves better than men. That explains why many marriages ain't working, and most of the marriages working, the woman is in control and the man is controlled. Ask the weak men in marriages, they'll tell you. So Africans gave these thugs more land for building schools and churches for free, and still expected, and these serious missionaries still expected Africans to go work in those churches and clean schools for free, and that encouraged laziness for some people. Now did not work at their farms or at their lands. Now they started working at the lands they gave to missionaries for free. Another sign of slavery. So they left their homes very early in the morning, and returned home late in the name of the missionaries who wanted their services. And that simply means many marriages were broken, courtesy of these thugs called missionaries. They then introduced orders to Africans that you should have a document, or you should document your land and be given a silly piece of shit called a title motherfucking deed. It was to cost them money, and since there was no money but barter trade, the mentally incapacitated Africans again had to work for the missionaries on the lands they gave to missionaries for free, so as to get money for the title deed. Oh, so sad. Since people were working their assets off to get money, barter trade was fucking killed. And that's how barter trade just vanished in thin air. Pew! So Africans forever remained slaves because of greed for money. And that's why up to this time, many African countries are greedy as fuck. Now, many people needed money, and the place for work was small. So the serious Africans predictably gave those missionaries more land for free, so as many of them can get accommodated there at work to get paid, and they considered that land for the missionaries. How dumb. How stupid. So after quite a while after these missionaries gained leverage, a good one, they introduced masks and lied to Africans that it was a sign of them being workers to the missionaries. And so, because Africans are naturally stupid, guess what? They embraced it. They embraced that bullshit. So Africans got masked, and they couldn't breathe well and make stories at work like before. They were successfully made slaves. And the same thing is now happening with this fake ass COVID virus. People are wearing masks, not knowing it's the world order still pushed by the missionaries. They don't know, because still masking is a sign of slavery, and that's why if you wear that face mask right now, you can't breathe well, you can't do any exercise, you can't even talk, because that's what the missionaries wanted. All this is it was planned by the missionaries. If you just do deep analysis, you'll know it just came from the missionaries who are lying to you that they care about you. Who are lying to you that, oh, this COVID virus is done. There is nothing in the fact like that. It's all like replaying old memories in a new version. Yeah, so the people who are wearing face masks are just slaves and they don't know because they're accepted to be controlled. But since they don't want to know, let them keep being slaves because that masking is just a sign of slavery. Right now, wise men are the ones opening their eyes, but the vast are still fool the good one. I mean, there is something confusing. Africa is the continent with most Christians who can't explain with proofs where exactly the Bible came from, but they just believe the Bible is God's book. And even when you ask them how they know God exists, they are fucking clueless. They just tell you it's matters of the spirit. Matters of the spirit. You can't perceive them physically. You must also perceive them in spirit form. Fuck you. So who is this God with ultimatums? Like example, you want to give me something, but you want me to be something you want first. That ultimately shows you don't want to give me or you don't want to help me. So this is God. This is how this God is. Before he gives you something, it said that you must do something or be what he wants. How selfish. This is a bullshit piece of shit who is there to just make people believe he's there, but nothing though. And if he, even when he's there, maybe he's just egocentric and selfish as fuck. The way naive poor Africans have embraced and crammed the Bible, you can think they know the originality or where the Bible exactly came from. Christianity is all lies and manipulation. So what the fucking fuck is speaking in fucking tongues? What bunch of bullshit is that? What bunch of bullshit is speaking in tongues? Churches and Bibles are the bullshit of the century. It's a hard pill to swallow, but once you know that, you'll trash the Bible, trash churches, trash God, trash Satan, and just live your life. Live your life like nothing, like there's nothing, like you just there and you just living for the moment. You just living for that time. You're not even caring about heaven and hell because you don't fucking care about that because all this bullshit are brought in by the missionaries. Why don't you have African missionaries? So God first appeared in the white countries and not Africa, huh? So the missionaries in the white countries know or met God to a point of now teaching Africans about the Bible and God. Oh, fuck Bible, fuck churches. It's all mind games and manipulations. Africans are pussies naturally, and that's why missionaries controls, and will keep controlling them a good one. The way they fucking want. Because right now, if you want to control any African, just come with that piece of shit, with a piece of serious book called the Bible. Then you're gonna control that man a good one, or that African a good one. Because they believe it's God's word. They don't have to do anything against it. They just don't know it's that bullshit there to control their minds. They don't know. Look at the way stealing is done in churches up to this time. Most people are still not living the way they want because they're afraid of wronging this imaginary thing called God. Fuck it. Missionaries left a strong influence. And that's why most most churches or most schools started by missionaries have got big pieces of lands or around big pieces of lands because the missionaries came in and stole from us. They got everything they wanted from us. They owned everything of value from us and just left us with nothing. But churches again to steal from us by the tithes and offerings, and the schools which are there to program our minds, and there is nothing there. Schools are just bullshit. In fact, we should just do away with schools and start learning things online because I'm seeing no use of going to schools. It's just a waste of time and waste of money. And that's how we got to where we are as Africans. And that's why up to this time, most African leaders are not doing things on their own, are still being controlled by these missionaries. So most of these uh, people in government, the presidents, they're not doing things out of their minds. No. these missionaries have got their hands deep down their asses, so they're told, do this, do this, do this. And that's why we'll keep being puppets and muppets unless we kick these people out of our minds and just trash the bullshit or the influence they stacked or they forced into our minds. We're gonna keep being slaves, and we're never gonna have our rights back, our free will. We're never gonna get our free will back. But if we just become moist and trash all this bullshit, we're gonna stand on our feet and we're gonna make Africa a better place for every fucking body.